We are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts. It's like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
All right, it's episode 297 of the New York Knicks podcast, which is also the same amount of days between the conference finals and the NBA finals.
Yes, I've heard they schedule the finals so LeBron's kids can play when they're old enough. So anyway, Jay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Thibodeau is no longer the coach of the Bulls. Why is he not the current coach of the Knicks?
Because the Knicks are dumb.
Is there a stat guy here who can tell me how many more victories that Thibodeau had last year than Derek Fisher?
Just off my head, probably triple.
There you go. We got a new stats guy. Thank you.
Oh, well.
We got a new stats guy for the show. We'll see how it goes. So when we have questions, he'll have answers. Why is the New York media not going absolutely insane to get this guy as the coach? How? I don't get it. I understand Derek Fisher is new to the job, has some potential. He won 17 games last year. Thibodeau was the best defensive coach in the NBA, or arguably one of the best. Why are the Knicks not rolling out the red carpet?
All right, the knock on Thibodeau.
Wait, but let's just, you want to debate this, Jay?
Yeah, I was just going to defend
debate
it.
from the side of sanity, and you will take crazy pills.
Sounds like this is already a biased debate.
Totally. What do you mean biased?
Well, the knock on Thibodeau is that he plays the starters way too many minutes, and then they get injured.
Oh, because the Knicks aren't all injured every year. Because Melo doesn't play 40 minutes a game every year anyway. The only difference would be we'd have wins during this. The team would actually look kind of good.
All right, I think you won the debate.
You're not going to put up any... Why are people not going crazy to get him? Stat guy, why are people not going crazy to get Thibodeau on the Knicks?
Because Derek Fisher is an amazing coach.
Yeah, exactly. I get the Fisher thing. I mean, in Fisher's defense, he said, hey, Derek, you've never coached before. We'll give you a terrible roster, which will make worse during the season, give you a very unconventional offense and try to get the players to figure it out and go. So it was a tough situation for him. I totally get that. Are you playing the drums, stat guy? What are you doing there?
I think the keyboard is echoing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It also feels like we're doing this in space.
I do hear a little like it sounds like a highway.
Here's the offer I'd make for if Dolan's listening or someone knows Dolan and wants to get this message to him.
Yeah.
Here's the offer I make to him. I give him. Well, first thing I do is I fire Derek Fisher before we even have the conversation to show him we're serious. Then I offer him prima nocta. If you've seen Braveheart, first night with all Knicks fans' wives going forward. Not just the Knicks, just the fans. He can have them all. Then I give him... I'm
impressed you remembered that name.
Prima nocta?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the funniest thing ever. Then I give him basically that truck that's going to Phil Jackson's house with the money. We detour it, and Phil Jackson has to figure out how to get his money. Could we drop it off at your place instead? I'd be more excited to get Thibodeau than having Phil Jackson.
Why? Just because we haven't had a good coach since Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah. And he seems to have gotten a lot out of Chicago's. I know they had Derek Fisher's been injured most of the time he's been there, or just off and on.
Derek Rose?
Derek Rose, sorry. They've had tons of injuries, tons of problems, and the team, every year, they're a very competitive team.
They are, but they're always injured for the playoffs.
Right. Do you think it's really Thibodeau kept injuring them, or just, I mean, look at the Knicks. Everyone's injured. Just bad luck also. It's not his fault that Derek Rose has, like, knees made out of clay.
No, but I think playing him 45 minutes a game probably doesn't help.
Him also like when he like stops on the fast when he what they say he does when he jumps basically he like dives it at a kind of a weird angle into his
The way he plants his foot, it's like terrible for your knees. Yeah. So,
Stat guy, are you doing dishes while we're doing the show?
No.
Did anyone else hearing this?
I'm hearing a lot of.
I think you're doing. Are you doing the stat guy from a job where you're washing dishes in a kitchen? Are you at the Cheesecake Factory right now in the back? It's cool if you are. I understand. Like we don't really pay.
It makes a living.
Okay, cool. Do you have any? Like? I think I'm just taking crazy pills. I go to Knicks blog. I go to Knickerblocker. I go to Posting and Toasting. I go to every Knicks place. And what I don't see is them going, hire Thibodeau now. Hire Thibodeau now. I saw on somewhere like NBC Sports said Thibodeau may be the Knicks coach in the future. In the future? They were saying, and maybe if Fisher doesn't work out for another season, maybe they can go after Thibodeau. This may be the dumbest move the Knicks can make. This would be worse than trading the draft pick, not getting this guy as a coach.
It doesn't sound like we're even making an attempt. So,
I hope Phil just is not mentioning it. No one else. Because last time he said, "Hey, I want Steve Kerr." Golden State got him. So maybe he's not mentioning everything, and then like it'll be announced on Monday that Thibodeau's the Knicks coach.
Possible. I really doubt it. The coaching roundtable started already. All right, there's definitely some weird.
What is going on? This is the worst the show's ever sounded. Stat guy, could you hang up and call right back in?
Sure, no problem.
Cool.
Okay. So we'll just continue.
Well, I'm just saying, do you hear it now, or is it really was just with Stat guy's phone?
It was. There was clearly a movie going on in the background.
Is he back now?
No, that was him hanging up.
Okay. Here's some questions I have for you.
Okay.
When I listen to the sport, I hear the on ESPN or every other like New York media, they say the reason we got Phil here was because Phil was going to attract free agents. Was the point of getting Phil to attract free agents?
I thought it was to build a team, however that may be.
Yeah, I thought it was just to build a winner. We didn't say Phil would equal like LeBron salivating. We just said bring in Phil and he'll figure out a way to build a winner.
Right.
But I think the revisionist history of we've got him because he was going to attract all the superstars, and then they were like, "Whoa, Phil's not." I mean, why is anyone going to listen to Phil? Why does anyone want to be a team where Phil's just the team president?
That was the whole idea.
Well, the whole idea was that he was going to be able to build a winner, not the idea that he's going to attract Marc Gasol here.
Right.
I don't know. But do you think every move Phil has made so far has bombed?
I would say the Prigioni one was good.
Yeah, I do like Shved. If we that was Shved, right?
Yeah.
And we got some draft picks. I like that move if we sign Shved. Galloway's been a good move.
Yeah, it wasn't really a move. It was kind of just signing somebody.
Well, it's a move.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, other than those two, I would say everything else has been an unmitigated disaster.
Well, we weren't really going to re-sign. I guess they weren't going to re-sign. They obviously were going to they wanted to get rid of JR, and he was never going to work out here. And they weren't going to re-sign Shumpert. You feel like they could have gotten more for them.
I don't know. I think JR's contract was so toxic that it took Shumpert to get rid of him.
It was so toxic that the Cleveland's going to be excited to have him back next year, and he's a key member of Cleveland's finals run.
Yeah, but JR hasn't self-destructed. If JR self-destructs in the finals, then this whole argument is moot.
I feel like his contract's pretty reasonable if you forget the fact that he's like he's a team cancer.
Well, yeah, if you ignore that part, then yeah, it's a great contract.
I don't know. I mean, for $6 million, I'll take cancer. And I guess the Tyson Chandler trade.
No, that was the worst.
And people are talking like we should draft Willie Cauley-Stein, so hopefully he's as good as Tyson Chandler was on our team.
Well, I mean, in his defense,
Did that guy call back, or is he calling back?
If that guy, if you're on right now, it sounds a million times better.
Sorry, I got kicked out of my kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Stat guy, we're going through Phil Jackson's trades. Tyson Chandler, fantastic mover or terrible move? Let us know.
Well, we did get Cle Anthony early out of it, and Shane Larkin looks pretty good, and we opted out of his contract, so pretty good trade.
Wow, you have rosy-covered glasses. Cle Anthony early hopefully will be a professional NBA player soon. Shane Larkin may not be on the team next year. No one's that impressed by him. And I think they could have just gotten more for Tyson Chandler. That's where it comes down to.
My biggest complaint is that we have Calderon's contract, which is a bad one.
It seems like you could have maybe found a way not to take Calderon back. But I guess they thought Calderon would be a better player.
That's true. They didn't know that he retired right before they got him.
They didn't know he couldn't play defense when they got him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else you want to? Anything else we want to talk about Knicks related? Before we get to the 8 million questions.
I'm sure they cover them. If not, we'll go back. There's a couple rumors going on, but as far as who we might get.
Yeah, there's a strong rumor we might get Willie Cauley-Stein, which makes limited sense to me.
All right, just so the show doesn't go 3 hours, we'll start with the questions. How about that?
Okay. Well, do you want to talk finals real quick? Because it is our finals preview show.
Is there going to be a finals game before next episode? I mean, I know they like to have a game like every 2 weeks now.
Legitimately, I think it starts Thursday night.
There'll be like one game before. That's awesome.
Klay Thompson may or may not play because he has a concussion because LeBron has the easiest paths ever.
If LeBron seriously plays another shorthanded team...
He is shorthanded himself. He's missing Kevin Love.
He is, and I don't want to hear anybody say Varejao because that guy has not been healthy in 6 years.
I would say Golden State in 6 games.
Yeah. I really just hope JR does something terrible because it would be so unfair if he behaves the entire finals.
I was asking on our Facebook group, so Stat Guy answered this question. Would you rather win $100 or have Cleveland get swept?
Cleveland gets swept.
$1,000 or Cleveland gets swept.
Cleveland gets swept.
By the way, some people responded by saying, well, if you just work hard, you could earn $1,000. And I was like, yeah, it's great. But the question was just about Cleveland, not about your ability to earn $1,000.
I mean...
Well, here's the last one. $10,000 you win, or Cleveland loses Game 7 because J.R. Smith intercepts the inbound ball to LeBron and misses that air balls a 3.
That's just not fair. Even the Cleveland game, the reactions would be worth it.
$100,000. LeBron James goes 0 for 60 in the series. Does not make a single shot. And J.R. Smith accidentally punches out Iman Shumpert, who's out for the rest of the series with a broken jaw or something.
Give me the money.
Well, let me see if I can make this a little better. Cleveland performs. No, I can't even get that. That's pretty much the best it's going to go.
Yeah. I mean,
what if they lose and JR goes 0 for 60, and LeBron murders him in Game 7, literally,
like live on TV,
live in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, he commits murder and he's taken off the court, and they lose because they don't have LeBron for that game.
Now, if LeBron commits murder live during a game, does the NBA suspend him? I don't know.
I don't know. That is hard to say. You want to start your other questions?
Yeah, let's go to the questions. We got an email from Ian. He has a 6-part question.
Oh, good. We have a 6-hour show. Go.
The first, part 1. First and foremost, fuck the Lakers. All right, so these are quick. Part 2. Who would you draft? Moutier, Winslow, or Super Mario Hezonja?
I am going with Winslow. It's that guy.
I want Moutier.
Okay.
I'm so torn on this one. I saw Moutier's free throw percentage, and now I'm freaking out.
I'm kind of worried about drafting another guy from overseas who no one has seen play that has not worked out well in the Knicks history.
Like, I've seen clips where he looks really good. The guy can pass. The guy can drive. But
He's playing against inferior talent. I just don't know.
as opposed to Winslow, who was playing against college kids.
No, well, I think Winslow's playing against more talented teams in
Really?
college versus Chinese Basketball Association.
I would say Chinese Basketball Association is better than college players.
Not the tournament.
I don't know.
Stephon Marbury at age of 49 is the MVP there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that says a lot. And also, didn't Moody only play like 9 games this year or 10 games?
Yeah, well, he was out in an ankle injury the first, 3 quarters of the season.
Do we want another guy that already has some injury problems?
I don't know what I want
A guard
anymore.
with ankle issues, that's the guy we draft?
Well, I mean, Jordan broke his foot in one of his first years. It
But if
doesn't
Jordan,
sound like that's
here's the difference. If the Knicks had drafted Jordan, everyone would have said, you should have drafted him with a broken foot. Jordan was not going to have a career. Oh, well. It wouldn't have worked out. Jordan's career he would have been injured his whole career.
Part 3. Can we burn both Timmy Hardaway Jr. and his dad?
Like literally light them on fire like they're crosses?
I think so. I think that's the question.
Stat guy, can we legally do that?
Yes.
Okay, Stat guy says we can.
There
Okay.
you go. As long as he says it's okay, it's good to go.
Stat guy knows the law. Go on.
Relevant draft notes. Porzingis' draft comparison is Bargs. Winslow says he likes to copy his game after JR. And Moutier says that his favorite player is Carmelo.
No one wants to be a Knick, I guess.
Those are 3 scary statements. Number 5, early draft.
Who's supposed to be the better defensive player, Moutier or D'Angelo? That guy?
I believe D'Angelo. Moutier has potential to be a defensive player.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, Moutier is 6'5" and has long arms and is pretty athletic. D'Angelo is more offensive-minded,
Right,
but
I
he
thought
plays
D'Angelo...
better on-ball defense.
Okay, well, that's not bad. I just want a guy who can defend. I want to stop having guards kill us. Like, basically, it wouldn't be bad. If you had Galloway on one side and, like, a guy who's a pretty decent defender on the other side, it wouldn't be that bad.
It would be nice to not have a new Nick effect every single week. Every other, I think we had 44 this year.
Oh,
By the way, Stats Guy's,
what's your Twitter handle, Stat Guy?
It happens to be Nick effect.
We appreciate that. Go on, Jay.
Early draft trade idea: 4th pick and Timmy for Lawson and 7th pick from Denver. That's an interesting one.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
I do like Lawson, but isn't he a terrible defender?
He's pretty bad, but he's also better than any point guard we have on the team right now.
Right, but then so that guarantees we draft Stein basically.
Right.
That's the target. So Stein and Lawson versus taking Russell or Moutier or Winslow.
I mean, we're probably not going to trade the pick if Russell's still there. So let's just say it's Moutier or Winslow and Hardaway or Lawson and Cauley Stein.
I mean, Hardaway doesn't really matter. He's not taking up that much of the cap. So it's really about, is it worth taking a Lawson, getting a point guard that can't play defense with a defensive-minded center?
Right.
Stat guy, what do you do?
Decline it.
I feel like the Knicks have a terrible history when it comes from trading draft picks that I don't like trading draft pick.
I would say decline too. I would rather 2 players on their rookie contracts as opposed to 1.
What do you mean 2?
Hardaway's still on his rookie contract, so you'd have the 4th pick and Hardaway both on rookie contracts.
But you hate Hardaway.
I do, but I don't think.
Like, what do you care? What do you care what happens to Hardaway? That rookie contract doesn't really help us.
No, but I don't think Lawson at $10 million helps us either.
Well, if we're gonna go sign a point guard, we get a defensive-minded center and go sign a point guard. It's a reasonable price to pay for him, $10 million.
Right, but I would assume that guy would not be Lawson.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't be Lawson. I'm just saying, if you were going to sign for a guy for $10 million, would Lawson versus what's available be a bad deal?
I don't want Lawson, really.
Oh, then just say you don't want Lawson.
I thought that was implied. Okay. Where were you guys during the lottery, and what were your initial reactions?
Jay was in a final. That guy, where were you?
At home.
I was in the on my couch, getting excited, and then resorting to the fetal position.
I was taking my final, and I left my phone on vibrate, and it was like exploding in my pocket. So I knew either something really good or really bad happened. Okay, and all right, that was it for that email. Lawrence writes, "Are the Knicks the Cubs of the NBA?" I think so.
Well, the Cubs haven't won since 1908, so not quite that bad.
Well, in 60 years they will be.
Next question.
Lorenzo writes in huge bold font. This is a Knicks email because.
Oh, here's a question for you. So Chad Ford, there was the rumor that the Knicks were going to do Lawson plus Fareed, the number 4 pick, and swap the pick. Would adding Fareed to the trade make the trade worse or better?
Better.
I say worse.
Why?
I don't want Fareed that money. You want $10 million Fareed on the roster?
I think it's 3 NBA players versus. I mean, we have 4 open spots in our starting lineup.
Denver's really bad with Lawson and Fareed on the roster right now.
They are.
I think Fareed makes it worse.
But they didn't play with Melo, the greatest offensive power.
That is true. Stat guy, how many times did Fareed play defense last year?
3.
Oh, I didn't think it was quite that high, but you're a stat guy.
Career high.
Career high. That is true. Having 3 bad defenders in your starting lineup makes you the Lakers.
Can I just give us, before we quote the questions, I was watching the Houston Golden State game. There was some point where basically at the end of the second quarter, every time the ball was inbounded, they would just foul Howard, even though he wasn't holding the ball, and they'd have to go shoot free throws. Could they get rid of the hack of Howard, hack of Shaq rules? Could they change the rules already?
Didn't you used to have to foul the guy with the ball?
The rule is if it's 2 minutes ago in the game, if you foul a guy off ball, then they can put whoever they want on the line.
Right, but didn't that not used to be the rule? I thought the rule used to be you have to foul the guy with the ball.
Stat guy. Settle this?
I know that's not the rule now. I'm just saying I thought like back in the day that was the rule.
Are you in traffic, stat guy?
I believe the rule was anything under the 2-minute mark, you would get 1 technical and the ball back.
But what's the rule outside of the 2 minutes?
Outside of the 2 minutes, it counts to your normal personal fouls. So,
Right, but isn't it just annoying to see like them foul Howard and send him to the line even though he doesn't have the ball? It just ruins the game. It makes the game boring. I think if you foul a guy who doesn't have the ball, the team should be allowed to throw whoever they want up the line. Just get rid of this stupid game of how you use fouls to your advantage.
I totally agree. I mean, that Clippers-Rockets series, I think game 2 had 96 free throws. Nobody wants to watch that.
It makes basketball's supposed to be a fast game, not now I'm going to shoot free throws. Now I'm going to shoot free throw game.
Yeah, no, they need to change that.
I mean, the argument against is, well, he's just make his free throw. When the argument in favor is, this is supposed to be entertainment.
Right, that's
Okay.
one of the major things they have to change in the league. I would say that's like maybe the second. Next to flops, that's probably the thing they need to change the most.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with the flop thing is much worse, but
And star calls.
okay.
Lorenzo writes, just watching the Cavs fans delirious at the start of Game 3, it's a given that they destroy the Hawks, but they're deluded if they think they can beat the Warriors. These fans like a lamb being let out to run around in a field before its head is lopped off. Not this year, LeBron.
I hope you're right.
I would be very surprised if they beat the Warriors.
You'd be very surprised.
I would.
I mean, they do have the best player in the series.
They do, but then the Warriors probably have like the next 4 best players.
Totally agree with that. Well, where do you rank Kyrie? Kyrie's up there, though.
He is, but he's...
Well, he would say LeBron number 1, Curry 2, Klay Thompson 3, and then Green.
Yeah, Irving's close to Thompson and Green, I guess.
They had on ESPN. They were breaking down the series earlier, and they said key matchups to look out for. LeBron being guarded by Draymond Green. Really, that's a key matchup. Way to do some analysis there. That's crazy. And then it was Steph Curry being guarded by Shumpert. Really? Wow. You picked out the two best players and said the guys guarding them is a key matchup.
Was that an insider article?
No, it was on ESPN Radio, but it was really like, I was like, wow, I'm blown away by your knowledge of these teams. I was like, and they were like, oh, well, Draymond Green's going to try have to shut down. He's going to try to have to limit LeBron's scoring. Really? And they said Curry, Shumpert's going to have to try to also like limit his chances. And they're like, oh, really? No way. They also then did a whole analysis about how scoring more points than your opponent usually means you win the game.
Stats guy, is that true?
Magic Johnson says it.
Bruno writes, when are you guys bringing back Woody? We did drop the ball and not have Woody on after the Knicks played the Clippers.
That's a really good idea. We should have him back soon.
Yes. Ian writes, trade idea. The Knicks get the number 6, the number 7, and Gallinari. Denver gets number 4, Carl Landry, Nick Stauskas, the Knicks 2018 first rounder, and their trade exception. And Sacramento gets Ty Lawson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Clay Anthony Early, and 2 future second-round picks.
I didn't know there'd be complicated word problems in the show. I didn't take notes. If we trade the 4th pick and get the 6th and the 7th pick, I'll take whatever else comes with it. That sounds good to me. I would do that. Would you do the 4th pick for the 6th and 7th pick?
That sounds great, but I'm kind of scared about trading another first rounder away.
Oh, who gives a crap? The 6th and 7th pick, that would be the best way. That would be getting 2 picks in the top 10 would be
And having
that would work out
Gallinari
well.
back, that would be fun.
Yeah, stat guy would be a good move. Yes or no?
If we get to draft Porzingis and Mario, yeah.
Willie Cauley-Stein and Porzingis, or is Mario supposed to be that good?
A lot of people are saying he's
Just-
top 5
just-
or 6.
Stat guy, honk once for yes, honk twice for no. Yeah, people are saying he's pretty good. And Jay would cream in his pants if we got Porzingis. You know, they're saying Porzingis is basically he's like too small. He doesn't have the size.
Right. Yeah, he's very, very skinny, and guys with that frame have never been good, like Kevin Durant or Kevin Garnett.
Okay, so exactly.
Maybe his problem is his name isn't Kevin.
You're right. The league, I mean, they hate Europeans. There's just none of them in the league.
Right. Yeah, there's never been a good European.
Yeah, there's not an entire team that wins like titles every other year that has the entire franchise is European. Next question.
Mr. C writes, how many more wins in a season do you think a Knicks team coached by Thibodeau would get than one coached by Derek Fisher?
This current roster with Tibbs versus Derek Fisher, immediately they're not playing the triangle, so the players actually understand the offense. They're all playing defense. I would say this roster could win 30 games under Tibbs without changing anything and assuming Melo's going to be injured half the year.
What do you say, stats guy?
40.
Well, if you had a healthy Melo, I think if you add. Yeah, I was just saying like the exact like this past season's roster team.
They would have at least won 10 more games.
I say Tibbs. You add Tibbs to the next season with the healthy Melo and the free agents we're going to be able to sign and the rookie we're going to draft. I say this team is at least guaranteed 8th seed, maybe 7th seed.
Yeah, I mean, just playing defense really goes a long way. It's crazy.
I mean, can stat guy? When was the last time the Knicks were good? Like for a sustained period.
Oh,
A period.
What decade?
Decade. The 90s?
Yes. And what did we do a lot in the 90s?
I believe we
Like-
played defense and hurt people.
Yes. Why don't we go back to those roots? When's the last time we were really good playing a lot of offense only?
About 2 years ago.
But even the defense wasn't that bad 2 years ago, though.
And that only lasted for one season with a playoff flameout.
Yeah, and that was a really weird season where, like, when we had those stretches where we shot a million three-pointers. Amari was out. We played amazing. When Amari played, we were a 500 team, and we didn't go anywhere in the playoffs. It was a weird season. I think we should go with. How is Tibbs not on? I don't understand why Dolan isn't like cupping his balls right now, being like, "You can finish in my mouth. Just sign the contract."
Andrew writes, as much as I am looking forward to the draft, I can't help but daydream about how this team will shape itself through the free agency. There are two guys that the Knicks could and should attain. Both would make an immediate impact. Costa Kufos.
Okay.
Because he said, forget Marc Gasol, because that's not going to happen. And I tend to agree.
Fair point.
He said Kufos plays defense and is highly skilled on offense. He deserves starters minutes, but doesn't get it because he's in Memphis. The other guy is Danny Green. According to Popovich, the team will probably look considerably different than it looks this year because we have so many free agents and we want to retool a little bit.
So I heard something. It may have been like 4 of the top 5 or 4 of the top. Maybe 4 of the top 10. I'm not positive. Of teams that shot the most 3-pointers were the 4 teams in the conference finals.
But Phil Jackson's been tweeting that no team who shoots a lot of threes has had any success.
Maybe he's just trying to trick the rest of the league. But I've noticed basically shooting a lot of threes has become the new thing in the NBA. And the last time we did have success in 2 years ago, we shot a ton of threes.
My devil's advocate question is, would Danny Green turn into Gary Neal if he's not on the Spurs?
Why? What do you mean?
Gary Neal did absolutely nothing this year after he left the Spurs.
That's true. I was not really following Gary Neal this year.
You don't follow Gary Neal?
No, I remember him. I'm saying, where is he on now?
I think he was on Milwaukee.
Stat guy. Come on, jump in with the answer, stat guy.
I'm pretty sure. We'll give him a second to verify. I'm pretty sure he was on the Bucks.
He was on the Bucks, and
are those the police coming to get you?
After San Antonio, he was a Milwaukee Buck.
Yeah.
Then he got to be a Hornet, and now he's somehow on the Timberwolves.
Okay, and how's his shooting going?
The Timberwolves now?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Did he leave San Antonio a decade ago? Shooting percentage, it dropped off.
Yeah, how bad has his numbers had a significant drop off since then?
On the Hornets, yes, it dropped to 29%.
Oof. Yeah, that's not good.
Fair enough.
Anyway, he writes a lineup of Galloway, Green, Winslow, Mello, and Kufos is certain to tickle the ears of Knicks fans. What do you guys think?
I like Kufos. I think he's a good player. That wouldn't be bad.
That wouldn't be bad. That would probably make the playoffs in the East.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the bench, but yeah.
I mean, and there's no, other than Mello, there's no cap-crippling contracts in there.
And Tibbs will get everyone to play defense, so that makes a big difference. They're assuming we have Tibbs, right?
Even if they don't, I mean, Green and Kufos both play defense.
I don't want to live in a world where Tibbs is not our coach next year, Jay. I don't know what I'm going to do when someone else signs him. When he's the Nets coach next year, I am going to be so mad.
We are nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter is at nyknickspodcast. We're going to Twitter now. Josh writes.
Oh, let me do the iTunes reviews real quick. We got some new reviews on iTunes. We love reviews on iTunes. It makes us happy. Thank you, guys. This is by Amazter. The review says, awesome, 5 stars. You guys are the best. The pain you go through is bar none. It makes me feel better about my life. That's our goal, to make you feel better about your life. And this is by Just Ed. Great show, 5 stars. The guys put on a great show of all things Knicks and basketball-related topics. They really helped me get through this horrible Knicks season. Also, check out their podcast, Brink of Insanity. Both are excellent shows. Ed, isn't it Brink of Sanity?
The show is Brink of Sanity, but we still love your iTunes review. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for writing reviews. Stat Guy, have you written a review?
No.
Have you bought a T-shirt, Stat Guy?
I would like one.
Jay, what? How do we bring him on the show? The Stat Guy doesn't even write a review.
I did not do my due diligence.
God damn it, Stat Guy! Don't we do a background check? Is he a criminal? Have you checked his background? Have you checked his credit rating, Jay?
We are about a week away from credit checking technology on this show.
Okay. And do you know if he's a sex offender? He might be.
We were like 2 months away from being able to check that.
Stat guy, just answer my question. Have you molested any young children, and or is your credit rating above a 600?
Yes to one, no to the other.
We'll guess which one you meant. Go on, Jack.
Which one is it? Stay tuned next week.
Stay tuned for next show.
And we're also we're saying how the iTunes reviews help. We are now up to 36th in all professional sports podcasting.
Yes.
We are ahead of Waddle and Sylvie from ESPN now. So
Screw you, Waddle and Sylvie.
Take that, you jerks. So yeah, that's proof that these reviews really do help. I think we need about 700 more, and then we'll pass the BS report. Twitter, Josh writes, if it came down to it, would you take Cauley Stein or Moutier?
Moutier.
Yeah, I would say Moutier. Stats guy?
Moutier.
Yeah.
I don't like kill them. If they trade down, they trade Cauley Stein. I'll be upset if they trade down. It's not something they get really good. But I don't mind the idea of Cauley Stein. I'm just not in love with the idea. I feel like they should be able to get a defensive minded center in free agency for not that bad of a deal.
I like Cauley Stein, but I don't like Cauley Stein.
I wouldn't take him to the dance, the formal or anything.
Right, but if he was there and I wasn't dancing with anybody, he was just like alone in the corner.
I'm drunk at the end of the night. Maybe I pull him aside. Who knows? I don't tell anyone about it the next day. I swear, no, I wasn't even there.
Stephen writes, would you still be an NBA fan if New York was the only non-Canadian NBA team?
What?
Huh?
Would you still be a Knicks fan if they played hockey?
I think that would make it even better.
I'm sure. Okay, go on.
When out and about in New York, do you ever see Brooklyn Nets fans?
I know someone who is from Brooklyn and switched allegiances when the Nets came there.
Did he switch back when he realized the Nets were a joke?
I think probably the fact that the Knicks were a joke doesn't really like encourage you to switch back.
That's true. I saw a lot of new hats last year when they were okay, and I did not see nearly as many this year.
I just feel it's going to take a while to build a fan base, and people that even live in Brooklyn, they're like, oh, well, the Knicks aren't very far away, so I'm still really a Knicks fan.
Stephen writes, is New York City a state or a city and a state, or just a city? I'm Canadian and refuse to use Google.
Is Canadian a planet? I refuse to use Google, too. I'm not going to find out. Go on, next question.
Jonathan writes, have you ever tried to be a Knicks fan with all these heartbreaks? I mean, there's no other way to be a Knicks fan.
Yeah. It'd be weird to be like a Laker fan, where things just generally work out for you.
Right. You have one bad season, then you get one of the best draft picks.
The NBA just awards you a number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, it was tough and all, but the NBA made it up for it, and it'll work out again because the NBA likes us.
Frank Costanza writes, when the through the backboard camera does that reflection thing that makes the players look transparent, is it just a trick of the camera, or do they actually disappear?
Disappear. They actually do.
We have some weird questions today.
Yeah.
Stats guy writes, assistant coach Thibs would be like having the first pick.
So what do you mean stats guy writes?
The guy who's on the show right now wrote that.
Oh. Okay, stats guy, why don't you just tell us your questions?
Let's see. Trent writes.
So, Jay, question. Which stat guy is better, this stat guy or the old stat guy?
I can't even remember the last time old stats guy was on.
Sorry, old stat guy. Stat guy, who's better, you or the previous guy?
I have more potential.
There you go.
Let's see. Let's see. Jason writes, would you consider Monty Williams as coach and Fisher as an assistant? I don't think he'd mind a backseat with that salary.
Why are we getting Monty Williams?
Did he do anything great?
Stat guy, why would in the world we get Monty Williams when Tibbs is available?
So Mark doesn't want to hear any coach-relating questions that don't have Tibbs in the name.
Right. I guess if Phil Jackson decides he wants to coach the team, then I'll say, okay, Phil will coach instead of Tibbs. That's about it. How many guys out there right now would you take over Tibbs? I bet you can't name more than 5 guys. Let's start. Let's start the list. Phil, we'll take him over Tibbs. Agreed. Popovich, take him over Tibbs. Agreed. Who's next?
Jeff Van Gundy.
Van Gundy. Okay, who's next?
Steve Kerr.
Arguable, but let's say Kerr. Okay, who else?
Boston's coach.
No, come on. Brad Stevens?
Yes, they traded their 3 best players and still made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, 5 guys right there. Okay. Fine, that's 5 guys. And I don't know if Rondo was really helping the team. It might have been addition through subtraction, as they say.
I would think that's probably the list, though.
Yeah. So, and being that most of those guys are unrealistic for very good reasons, you take the next best player available. Why would we take about Monty Williams? Make the arguments, that guy.
He got the Pelicans to the 8th seed in the West, while Tibbs lost to a Cavs team missing its 3rd best player and JR.
Oh, so Monty Williams did a good job of taking basically the 2nd best player in the NBA and getting him to the 8th seed.
They had nobody else. I mean, they had their starting point guard injured and their starting power forward injured.
Anthony Davis had statistically one of the best seasons in the history of the NBA. You should get him to the playoffs.
I don't know if LeBron would have taken those Cavs teams to the playoffs if they were in the West.
Well, it's hard to. I feel like LeBron would have been in the playoffs also in the West. I don't think that would have been an issue. Anyway,
Jason writes, Hardaway and our pick for the Lakers pick and all our 2nd-round picks until 2040.
Trick question. We have no 2nd-round picks till 2040. Lakers will be really like, oh, damn it. We should have known the Knicks don't have no 2nd-rounders.
Okay, this one's from Jason again.
Okay, Jay, would you switch Derek Fisher for Monty Williams?
No. I don't know. Is Monty Williams even any good? Alvin Gentry just got hired on the Pelicans. He would have been an interesting guy to get.
I don't give up on Derek Fisher for Alvin Gentry, though. He would have been. I agree with you. There is one guy out there, though, I would switch Fisher for. But you'll have to guess.
Does his name rhyme with Ribideau?
Well, I can't let you in on the secret.
Alvin Gentry, you may know, did my favorite A-team, B-team on the Suns when they went to the conference finals.
Yes, you were really into that A-team, B-team.
I thought that was the greatest thing.
Yes, you need 10 good players, and the Knicks are not going to have that next year.
Yeah, the Knicks would have not even an A-team.
Okay. We're hoping for an A-team. Okay, next question. We have a lot of questions on Facebook, by the way.
We're almost done with Twitter. Assuming he allows himself from the no-trade clause, Melo for Deron Williams only because his contract expires soon.
Is that guy, you like that?
No.
That's a pretty... I mean, I guess the only hope is that Deron Williams suddenly gets better for some reason. Like, he hated playing for the Nets. Now he's in the Knicks. He'll go back to the form he had in Utah.
Before I answer this, stats guy, do we have next year's first-round draft pick?
No, we don't.
Then I would say no, because the only way you would do that is because you know you're throwing away next season.
Can't throw it away, so you're really screwing yourself by making that trade.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Right? There's no way you do that trade.
Okay.
What if they throw in Brook Lopez?
So we have 2 terrible contracts and 2 injury-prone players for 1 terrible
And we
contract.
will also give you Lamar Odom's crack pipe.
Is he still getting paid?
Not with the Nets. I just threw that in. Let's go to the next question.
That is it for Twitter. So now we only have 75 Facebook questions.
William writes, I bought a new 80-inch flat HD screen. If I watch the Knicks lose, it will be an HD 1080p 4K.
Nice.
Sweet. When are we coming over, William?
We were actually thinking about starting live shows today, but I'm being cheap about my air conditioner, and I'm doing the podcast with no shirt on, and nobody wants to see that. So we'll probably start next week.
Jay, I think everyone wants to see you with no shirt on.
Believe me, you don't.
Stat guy. What percentage of our fans want to see Jay with no shirt on?
2%.
That's higher than anyone would expect it.
Yes, way.
George writes, off the topic, Mark and Jay and all these listeners, what is your greatest sporting moment on a personal level or team sport? I encourage everyone to post and pics. It would be good to see everyone's attributes. Cheers. He means us actually playing, not watching sports, right?
Oh, yeah, our personal crowning achievements. I mean, are you serious with that?
What was yours?
That would either be my 1 point I got in varsity high school ball, or in my Chelsea Piers Rec League, I hit the game-winning 3 to bring us to the finals in the league.
We won the kickball championship in my intramural team.
Yeah, we won the volleyball championship twice. I would have to. I would go with that. I was thinking only basketball though. Wasn't that the question? Oh no.
Oh, was it basketball?
Oh no, he said sports. Never mind. Yeah,
Sports.
I would go to 2 volleyball championships.
I played football in high school for 1 year and recovered a fumble or 2. That was exciting.
There you go.
But I didn't really start.
Learn something new about you every day. I didn't know you were on the football team.
Oh, only freshman year. Stat guy, what's your crowning sports achievement?
Intramural championship in basketball.
There you go.
I made it to like the semifinal or maybe somewhere far in a tournament for racquetball once, a long time ago.
My team made it to the finals twice in rec league basketball, and we lost both times.
Oh, there you go. I think for intramural football we went far once when I was in school. Oh well.
I won 10 games in a row in beer pong at a bar.
Oh, we're gonna break it beer pong, then I could kill you in beer pong.
Well, when you win, we need to play then because I'm pretty good. But if you win 10 games in a row in beer pong, you really kind of lose.
Or yeah. Well, you're drinking as you're playing either way.
Yeah, that's a lot of beer really quickly.
That was my crowning sport in college. I was pretty good at that. I wish I had the same skills at shooting a basketball that I had shooting beer pong. Greg writes, how dirty is Matthew Dellavedova? To be fair, if he's on the Knicks, we'd love him. Mark, I bet you stuttered reading his name. You are correct, Greg.
Yep.
I couldn't read that one time fast.
Yeah, we didn't even bring that up.
Let's bring it up.
Well, that was kind of a thing. He was responsible for Taj Gibson getting ejected. Then he rolled into Kyle Korver and got him injured. And then he was involved in Horford getting ejected.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I'd be totally fine with him being on the Knicks.
Yeah, he's one of those, love him if he's on your team, hate him if he's anywhere else.
I'm a Dog wrote, he is dirty. John Stockton was dirty too. I mean, a lot of guys are dirty if they're not dirty. I mean, even LeBron, the great one, flops all the time and just like bitches about any time. Every time he fouls someone, no matter how clear a foul is, he bitches about it.
I didn't know he got the Chosen One tattooed on his back. That's pretty douchey.
I feel like in LeBron's defense, if you had a life where people treated you the way they were, you might think it actually oh no, this is a totally normal thing to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were calling him the king since he was like 16, so...
He lives in a different bubble than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Greg writes, say I can buy a new Knicks jersey of your choice. Whose jersey would you like?
Oh. Well, if you're going to buy us jerseys, can you wait until the Knicks get a player I like? Can you revisit that question like next year?
I have the answer. When the Knicks draft that guy in June, just put his name on the jersey. And if you need too many letters to spell Porzingis, give me a different jersey.
Although I think a Shved jersey would be pretty funny.
I was going to say, if the Knicks re-sign Shved, I think I'd be up there. The current jerseys, I guess I would go Galloway. There's not much to go. I'm not going Melo, and then Galloway's the next guy in there.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Stat guy, who you take?
Hardaway.
You're a Timmy fan?
I was.
You were? You tell me you gave up on being a Timmy fan when he stabbed us in the back last year.
He should have represented us at the draft.
John Rice, did they shorten their team name to Knicks because Knickerbocker sounds almost racist?
Does it? What?
Yeah, I don't understand. Does it sound racist?
Are you saying that? Oh, knicker?
It was knickerbocker a pair of pants, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess if you say knicker really quick, sounds like something.
Yeah, they also changed. There used to be an N in the beginning of it, and
Okay, let's move on.
yeah, let's move on. I'm a dog writes. Do you really think the NBA wants Cleveland in the finals? If yes, why?
Because LeBron is the most marketable star they've had since Jordan.
Right. I don't understand. Is there anyone else they want? I would think Cleveland's the number one team they want in the finals this year. Didn't they hand him 3 number 1 draft picks in hopes that LeBron would sign there?
Right.
I mean, could they have made it more blatant? It's that guy. Could the NBA have made it more blatant? They love Cleveland.
No.
Greg writes, would you rather be Taylor Swift's boyfriend or Kobe Bryant's personal assistant, and why? That seems like a relevant question for the NBA podcast.
Well, if you're Taylor Swift's girlfriend, you'll get a song written about you when you break up.
You mean boyfriend?
Well, yeah, boyfriend. You'll get I'm drinking rum, sorry. You'll get a song written about you when you break up.
Not that I don't think she's like the hottest one out there, really.
I don't either, but you could do worse.
She has an okay look, but I don't think she's really hot.
She's got like permanent bitch face.
I know, stat guy. Is she hot?
Yes.
Okay.
I would go with Taylor Swift's soon-to-be ex-boyfriend. I can't see anything fun about being Kobe's assistant.
Yeah, I bet Kobe treats his assistant really well. He seems to treat his teammates really well, also.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy to hang out with.
Yeah, I guess having a song about you, like that'd be number 1 song about how you're a jerk off, sounds better than having Kobe Bryant just scream at you all day.
Plus, if you could make it to like one red carpet celebration, you could just wear a Brink shirt.
Also, well, actually, here's the reason why. I will make a lot more money at the book I write about Taylor Swift than the book I write about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's true too.
Steven, so a couple people like to answer this question. Steven wrote, Kobe Bryant's assistant because Taylor Swift would dump me in a heartbeat. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. I would get fired as Kobe's assistant too. Apparently, Steven didn't understand the hypothetical nature of the question. Paul writes, is there a trick in this question? Who would want to be Kobe's assistant? Hate Taylor Swift, but I could handle banging her. Greg writes, maybe just the thought of having a song written because of your relationship with her, or maybe that is a positive. And Grant responds, if you take being Kobe's assistant, there's a good chance you'll end up getting the black strap on. I take Taylor Swift instead just to avoid that. Maybe Taylor Swift is into the black strap on. Greg writes, Memphis GM called, offers Conley and Courtney Lee for our 4th pick. Would you go for it? Stat guy?
Before he sobers up, yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I think you gotta go with that.
Really?
Yeah, you got like a top 10 point guard and a solid shooting guard for a guy that may be a bust.
What are their contracts? Well, how much is Conley getting paid? Stat guy, are you now in a wind tunnel? Are you on an airplane? Are you doing it on the outside of an airplane?
No.
Oh, was that thunder?
Yeah, it's raining over here
Oh,
okay.
Where are you? Like
in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. I'm in Manhattan. I guess that's coming very soon.
Yeah, and then I'll get it like 10 minutes after you do because I'm in Queens. It's like looking into the weather future.
You know,
Conley makes $9.5 million next year.
And what's Lee make?
5.6.
I would take both of those in a heartbeat.
Those aren't bad.
Conley would be the best point guard we've had since Marc Jackson.
I don't want to trade the pick. I know Conley's a pretty good defender too, right?
Very good.
I would. Do
it's
that.
tempting. I want a very, very good player on a rookie contract. I feel like that's the best path to winning.
I would take 2 good players over 1.
I don't think Lee's that great.
He's a good defender. And he can hit threes.
Yeah.
3 and D.
Not a bad pick.
He has finals experience.
Well, Yeah, it's not a bit. What if D'Angelo's available? Russell.
Oh. Maybe D'Angelo Russell.
That's not a bad trade, though. Greg writes, really hate NBA more than ever, always in favor of Braun. And he shows pictures of intentionally hits Bogut in the face, flagrant one, not ejected. That's Howard. Unintentionally drops his elbow because someone was trying to injure his leg, flagrant 2, ejected.
Yeah, that's the other thing we didn't talk about. Dwight Howard hit 2 guys in the face and resulted in 0 ejections. And Al Horford missed an elbow and got ejected. Also, Dwight Howard, every time he's about to get eliminated, he tries to injure somebody on the other team. This is like the 3rd time that's happened.
They really ruined the NBA. The star calls are terrible. Greg writes, have you guys seen any Jason Terry interviews? Mark, can you do your best Jason Terry, Jason the Jet Terry impersonation? I mean, if you guys have an exclusive with him, maybe he'd like to play for the Knicks because he's a good fit. 37-year-old and a post-peak career. Shout out to Jay for sporting that Easter egg comic book character reference last episode, long shot. I don't have a...
I have not seen any Jason Terry interviews since...
That guy. Have you seen any Jason Terry interviews?
I didn't know they existed.
Stack guy, find a Jason Terry interview.
All right, keep going. Give him time to look.
Okay. Greg writes, Nick or not? Okay, I'm just going to... Mark, good luck. Tony Stark, that's Iron Man, right?
Yeah, but I like how he put an S in parentheses to throw you off.
Tony Stark. I think I mentioned at some point my son has a poster of like all these superheroes, and last night he goes, "Daddy, are there 2 Flashes?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if maybe there are 2 Flashes. 'Cause I don't know enough about comics.
There is
then
Dark Flash.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's not talking about that because he doesn't really watch the Flash.
Was it Quicksilver?
Turned out in the poster, he thought Iron Man was like also Flash.
Oh, okay. I thought he was thinking like Quicksilver because he's basically Flash in a blue outfit.
If he wasn't 3.5 years old, the chances were that you could be right. But I felt like there had to be a simpler explanation.
Yeah, and I also figured if you're doing like comic book all stars, Quicksilver probably would not be on there.
There's Spider-Man on there, and then the Spider-Man in the black suit. Who's the Spider-Man in the black suit?
Spider-Man in a black suit.
Is there another name? Is he evil Spider-Man?
The black suit is actually an alien, and you saw Spider-Man 3, right?
Yeah, that's him.
So somebody else wore the black suit and turned into Venom.
So that is Venom.
Spider-Man originally wore it and then was able to unpossess himself and take it off, and then somebody else put it on and turned into Venom.
Okay, I just want to know who to tell my son who that character is. Because I was like, that's Spider-Man, that's bad Spider-Man.
That's just his other outfit.
Rick Brunson. I've not heard of Rick Brunson. I'm going to say not a Nick and a comic book character.
He's a Nick. He was a Nick.
Oh.
You don't remember Rick Brunson? He was.
Obviously, I don't.
He was like late 90s, I think. Late 90s Knicks.
I don't know. Moochie Norris. Yes.
Yeah, he came in that terrible Houston trade, right?
Yeah, I forget. I know he was on the team at some point. Chuck Norris. Do you know when Chuck Norris does push-ups? He pushes the world down instead of pushing himself up. This is just getting stupid. Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe, David Wingate. Who's David Wingate again?
Isn't he a baseball player?
I don't know. Stack guy. Who's David Wingate?
I have no idea.
That's great. Antonio Davis. Was he on the Knicks? Yeah, I think he was on the Knicks for a short time.
He was on the Knicks like way past his prime, right?
Yeah. Antonio McDyess, yes, obviously. Antonio Banderas, of course he was on the Knicks. Right before he made the Desperado movie. Brad Lowhouse.
I feel like that's an actor.
Shannon Anderson, yes. Anderson Cooper, of course. Tyrone Curtis, Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues was not a Knick, was he?
I think he might have been.
Was he really?
Brad Lohaus was an NBA player, and he was on the Knicks. We both got stumped on that one.
Oh, was Muggsy ever on the Knicks?
No. He was a Hornet, Bullet, Warrior, and Raptor.
Yeah, I would have liked that. I loved watching. I just thought watching Muggsy Bogues was like watching like you were like watching like a sideshow, like a freak show. You're like, why is this guy? Is this guy really in the NBA?
Same with that other really short guy that was on.
Spud Webb?
No, there was a third one. He was on the Bucks for a while.
How is like the TLC channel not following Muggsy Bogues and his family? Travis Knight? Yeah, he was on the Knicks, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Earl Boykins is who I was thinking of.
Oh, Earl Boykins.
Oh.
Yeah,
He was 5'5".
Muggsy was like 5'2", though, right?
5'3". Yeah,
Yeah, that was crazy. Travis Barker, I don't remember this guy.
that is the drummer for Blink-182.
Great. P.S. Don't check the reply yet unless you're done. Great. And I guess does he give the answers to all of these?
I think just the tricky ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Travis Knight was in the Ewing trade. That's why he did that.
Oh. Rosario writes, we might need to come up with 60 question max here, like first 60, as ironic as it sounds coming from me. Rosario writes, I want LeBron to lose with a passion. Mm-hmm. And he spelled passion with one S. Gilliam writes, I'm reading from some articles saying...
I love how you had to point that out.
There are so many things that
Such
are
a
wrong.
dick.
There are so many things that are spelled wrong. So many things that are written in broken English. And this is the one I had to point out. I'm a dick. Gilliam writes, I'm reading some articles saying things like, the win now Knicks fan base. Do you agree the Knicks fan base doesn't have any patience?
No, I don't agree. I think the Knicks media does not have patience.
Completely agree. The New York media is insane, and the fan base is willing to wait.
If the fan base didn't have patience, they would have no fans left.
Yeah. Gilliam writes, I know, Mark, you have problems to read, but come on, is not. I'm not insane. That's what I wrote last week. No need to read it again. According to Chad Ford, Pistons, Kings, Hornets, and Magic will consider trading the pick. The most realistic trade I could come up with for the Knicks to get the pick is this. Knicks gets Pistons' 8th pick and Josh Smith's contract. That goes... Wait, this is...
Yes, Josh Smith is still getting paid by the Pistons for 2 more years.
This is what he wrote last week. I don't understand... Am I reading this wrong? This is the most realistic trade I could come up with for the Knicks is to get the pick. Is this. Knicks get the Pistons' 8th pick and Josh Smith's contract. That goes against the cap still. 2 years, $14 million a year. Pistons get Calderon Hardaway if they fancy him too. Not sure if Pistons would do it, but this would be. But would you do it at 8th? One of.
Why are you having so much trouble with this question?
This is a question from last week. He's trying to say I read it wrong last week. Knicks get Pistons' 8th pick, Josh Smith contract. Pistons get Calderon, maybe Hardaway. Why, I don't know, but you included... Oh, you know what he's saying? Is that we thought he meant they were including the 4th pick, and he wasn't including the 4th pick in this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's what... We just assumed. So, apologize, Gillum. I can't read English.
We almost messed it up 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we almost screwed up. So, Stat Guy, do I border on being retarded, or am I actually?
You're too hard on yourself.
Yeah, so I'd say would you take the 8th pick if you had to take Josh Smith's contract?
To get rid of Calderon's contract? I think because...
Well, the whole pick is the whole point is that, yeah, you get Calderon, basically, the benefit for Detroit is they get rid of, they get out of cap hell a year early.
Right.
And they get a little break on the salary cap. The benefit of the Knicks is you're really basically, would you spend Josh Smith's contract to get the 8th pick?
I would say absolutely. Also, Josh Smith, whatever another team pays him gets taken out of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's probably going to be like $2 to $3 million less.
Don't you think the next team is just going to pay him like league minimum because they don't have to because Josh
Yeah,
Smith's
but for
already
a
getting
10-year
paid.
vet, that's like 2.2 million. So
Oh, okay.
you know.
So basically, the difference this year is $5 million. The next year it's 14, but I would pay that much to get the 8th pick. I think it would be worthwhile.
Yeah, I would say so too.
If you could pay to get draft picks, I totally would. Ollie writes. Also, I want to ask. I also wanted to ask. In the finals, you guys will probably be rooting for Golden State, as I will. I'm just gonna wait till Stat's done with his papers. As much as I want Golden State to win, Stat guy, are you rooting for Golden State or Cleveland?
Golden State.
Realistically speaking, I think the Cavs will win. Think about it. LBJ will be locked down Curry. Kyrie will get Clay. Though, is Kyrie a great defender?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Who's the next scoring option? Barnes, Iggy, and plus LeBron's kryptonite is Tim Duncan. Last I checked, they don't have Tim Duncan. LOL. Didn't Dallas beat him also?
Beat who?
LeBron.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if his kryptonite is Tim Duncan. I think LeBron finds a way to win, so you can't really bet against him, or it's tough to bet against him. But Golden State's roster is much better than Cleveland's roster.
Let's not
Especially-
forget that they're about 10, 11 players deep, and Cleveland can barely make a starting lineup.
I also think one of Cleveland's biggest weakness is the team that can just like bomb the threes. Ollie says, I'm guessing by now you have already talked about Coach Tibbs being fired. I can't believe it took this long for it to come up.
Yeah.
And who do you guys have in the finals and are probably by now in the lightning round and trying to get through the questions? What do you guys think of the idea of demoting Fisher to assistant coach and hiring Tibbs as head coach? That way we will win when Fisher gets experience and we get the top 3 coach in the league. And by far, next to Doc Rivers and Steve Kerr, you have my answer. What do you guys think?
I'd say absolutely.
The only thing I'm not sure about here is keeping Fisher around at all. Well, I feel like when you do that and you demote, somehow it always creates like a weird situation when you demote the guy who's head coach, the assistant coach, where he's trying to like still fight to be the head coach.
Yeah.
I feel like you might just want to take Fisher and go, bye, see you later. It was great knowing you. We had a wonderful season. We'll always remember those 17 victories. Or you basically just videotape yourself screaming at him for the last 2 victories he had and go, we could have had the number 1, screw you, and then you fire him. Greg writes, sweet, if we can get him, our own Kawhi/Jimmy Butts. And report Knicks Damari Carroll have mutual interest. Do you like Damari Carroll?
Hell yeah, I like DeMarre Carroll.
Yeah, I think that would be a solid. I like this rumor a lot better than the rumor about what's his name from Detroit.
Yeah.
Greg Monroe.
Yes. So that's guy. Have you found an interview with Jason Terry yet?
I did. And the first hit is Jason Terry, no homo, suck the D. And
Can we play this?
Yeah, send the link in the Skype chat, and I'll play it.
all right.
Okay, George Rice. This is a good pickup if we can get it, but not an overpay. This guy is looking for a big payday. He's made it loud and clear. Knicks are going to try to snag Millsap as well. I would love Millsap. That'd be great. Who would you rather have, Carroll or Millsap?
I think Carroll, just because he makes less and he's younger.
Fair argument. I was going to say Millsap, but that's a fair argument. Greg, how about you guys? Would you like to be on your team? Who would you like to be on your team? And Greg, he sent an image, and the image has Prime Grant Hill or current LBJ. Who's better? Careful, Grant watches this post.
I think
Wait.
we're forgetting how good.
Probably no, he was really good, but he wasn't like as good as LeBron.
Yeah, but LeBron took a step. He's saying this year's LeBron.
No, I understand that, but this year's LeBron has basically been carrying his team to the through the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. Prime Grant Hill was sick though.
Prime Grant Hill didn't have a lot of playoff success.
Well, Prime Grant Hill lasted about a year.
No, he was like 3 years.
Yeah.
No, Prime Grant Hill was awesome, no question. But how many years was Grant Hill in his prime, Stat Guy?
About 4 before his. He gave up, I think.
How were his stats? Can you read us the best of the stats?
In 1 second.
While he's looking that up, I will look at the Jason Terry interview.
Okay, and so we don't have.
The two-time defending champion Lakers.
You're seeing in the Laker defense that allows you to have so much success from the three-point line.
Well, all series long, we've been able to penetrate their bigs, get deep, suck the D in, and then we got spot-up shooters. You got 3 of the most prolific three-point shooters in the history of the game out there.
How important is it for you guys to wrap this thing up here at home today?
Very important. That's why we came out determined, focused, executing our game plan to a T, and then we got to seal the deal. You can't do it for 2 halves. You got to do it for all 48 minutes.
All 4 quarters. Thanks, Jet. Mike?
I think it's because he said suck the D.
Uh,
Okay. That was
okay. Let's cut to our Jason Terry interview. Jay, do you have that?
sure.
Hey, it's Jason here. I sound exactly like Jason Terry. Anyway, I'm going to give you my commentary on the finals. You want a finals preview, right?
Yeah, that's exactly why I had you on.
So I think Golden State. I think Green is supposed to be guarding. Draymond Green has to go down on LeBron to stop him. He's got to stop him from down low. He's got to take him from behind at times, and you got to have. He's got to just basically go raw. Hide on him.
Raw dog?
Raw dog, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jason.
And I think sometimes that there's always an issue with people trying to double team LeBron, filling all his holes. And I feel like the Knicks, I feel like Golden State can't be too much about filling his holes, but you have to be worried about his money shot in his face.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason.
Okay, great, Jay. Anyway, it's been great being here, Jay. I'll drop my balls on you anytime you want.
Excellent. I think you may be our new recurring character.
Greg writes, finals prediction. In case you have missed it already, J.R. Smith and Shump go into the NBA Finals. My Knicks sitting at home. Well, Phil said he'd get some of the Knicks to the finals. He didn't say which ones. Nils writes, do you guys feel like this has been the most predictable playoffs you've ever seen? Also, do you believe the Western Conference was overhyped? A lot of their series ended rather quickly for being the best side.
I think the conference is still really tough, but the playoffs are definitely overhyped.
Generally, the playoffs have been bad, but this
is the second year in a row where exactly the teams that everyone thought were going to make it made it.
So, to be fair, this is a pretty intriguing final.
Yeah, well, so was last year's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's better than last year. I'm saying it's a pretty interesting
I mean,
final.
if the playoffs are going to keep being this predictable, we might as well just skip right to the finals.
Someone was saying that, this is great because now it's 2 new teams in the finals, and I Golden State totally a new team, but I feel like Cleveland doesn't really count as a new team.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's another LeBron team.
Stack, do you have your window open?
No.
Okay. Do you have paper? Like, do you actually have a fourth wall that is closed, or just like the outside noise just comes right in?
Outside noise comes in.
Greg writes, Cousins for our 4th pick, yes or no? No.
No.
That guy?
No.
Why not that guy?
Melo and Cousins fighting to get the ball would be fun to watch for about 2 games.
Good answer. Paul writes, Greg mentioned trading our first-round pick for Conley and Courtney Lee. Doesn't sound half bad, but how much would you be willing to spend on Conley? He makes $9 million now. He's looking for more. Also, Moutier or Conley. Well, that's a good point. Conley, when's his contract up? Probably pretty soon.
I did not take that into consideration.
And you're probably going to have to start paying him. Moutier or Conley? Conley is a proven... You know what you're getting with Conley, and you like what you're getting with Conley. Moutier probably has a higher ceiling.
He does, but he could also be a complete bust.
George writes, Jay, thoughts on the Daredevil TV series? I'm going to jump in here and say I started watching the Daredevil TV series as a non-comic book guy, and I watched the first episode, and I am pretty impressed so far. It's pretty good so far.
And I have not seen it yet, so How's that?
Way to be the comic book guy on our show. Stat guy, have you watched Daredevil yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, everyone has homework. George writes, Lakers are having having second thoughts and are not sold on big man option. They are looking into D'Angelo Russell and Moutier as an option. Do you think they are not impressed by the workouts or just taking into consideration that Kobe will be retiring and they are looking for the next best thing at that position? Could we be safe to say maybe we are lucky at after all at 4?
I think the Lakers are just messing with our hopes.
I mean, to be fair, also maybe they're hoping that the number 3 team offers them something to get Russell. Also, maybe they just think. I mean, you're always better off having a higher pick and making the decision for yourself. Here's a question. So let's say Towns goes first. Lakers say Russell 2. Philly says, well, we can't take Okafor. We have so many bigs anyhow. And so Philly goes Moutier 3. Did the Knicks take Okafor?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Stat guy, do you think Okafor and Melo would play well together?
In preseason.
Okay, good enough.
I would say who gives a shit?
I'm a little concerned.
Who gives a shit? You got a guy that's going to be good. You take him. Would we not draft him because a 31-year-old Melo coming off knee surgery might not play well with him?
Solid point. I'd be more inclined if I wasn't so worried about his defensive game, but maybe that's also overhyped.
Maybe you draft him and then trade him because everyone wants him. Either way, you draft him.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If you're concerned about that defense, you make a trade after the draft. But
okay, let's say Philly drafts. Philly drafts. Make this harder. Philly drafts Porzingis, Okafor versus Moutier.
I think you still go Okafor.
Okafor versus Russell. Somehow it's Russell instead of Moutier.
Then I think you go Russell.
Yeah, I'd say that. Stat guy, you agree?
I take Russell.
George writes, D-Wade may be hitting the open market. What do you guys think? Picking up a vet on the decline, that's our style. I'm going to answer for Jay. Jay would say, I would rather kill my entire family than have D-Wade on the team. Is that correct?
What makes you think I wouldn't want my least favorite player of all time on the team?
Stat guy, would you take the Wade on D-Wade? Would you take Wade on the team?
No.
What if on a reasonable contract? You're not going to get him on a reasonable contract. That's the thing also.
That's why.
Let's say you could get him for $9 million.
I'd do it. It's not going to happen, though.
And if you got Wade, who would play more games next year, Wade or Melo?
Galloway.
Yes, that's the correct answer. Greg writes, unless he's Super Mario, if you know what I mean. Unless, and this is basically the rumor that the what if with the 4th pick the Knicks draft Mario How do you pronounce his last name?
Hezonja.
I can't believe I didn't get that. What's the deal with Hezonja?
I haven't seen one clip of him, but I know people are really high on him.
Stack guy, what's the Sky report on this guy?
He's pretty much J.R. Smith.
Oof.
Oh, perfect. Does he like the club? Because if he likes the club, and New York's got clubs. I assume they mean without the clubbing aspect, right?
Yes, and he has actual defensive upside, whatever that means.
They were comparing also on ESPN Radio when they were talking about the finals. They were like, Steph Curry and J.R. Smith kind of take the same shots. The difference is Steph Curry makes those shots.
Right.
I thought it was just funny. Sean writes, even with the help from the refs, will LeBron overcome the bench of Golden State?
Golden State's got a nasty bench.
You would think Golden State should win this series.
Yeah.
I asked this on Facebook. Do you think it has hurt LeBron that his path to the final has been on the easier side? And I don't mean this year. I mean just in general. Generally, he hasn't had a lot of competition in the East getting to the finals. Forget its final opponents. They've all been pretty solid final opponents.
Yeah, he's had a joke of a trip almost every single year.
Does that hurt his legacy at all?
I would say so.
Stack guy.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you play with what you get. It's not his fault, but on the other hand, I feel like I feel like it does hurt a little bit that he has had no real challengers in the East.
I mean,
East has been a joke the whole time he's been there.
I think if he has a joke of a opponent every round except the finals for like 4 years in a row, and he still only goes. If he loses this year, he'll be 2-4 in the finals. That's not.
So
good.
how much does it hurt him if he loses this year in the finals?
All Jordan talk can stop. If he goes 2-4 in the finals, we can stop.
Okay, and if he wins, this would be a pretty big. I would think this would be a pretty good victory, and this would probably put them neck and neck in most people's minds.
Yeah, I would say so.
Greg writes, he copies my question of the day and says, let's up the ante. Would you rather win $10,000 or see Cleveland lose in Game 7 on a 1-for-23 shooting performance from JR? Jay?
I'm taking the $10,000, but I would still love to see that happen.
Stat guy.
Give me the money.
Yeah, the money's pretty good there.
That's too much money.
For $1,000, though, I would take the. I think I would enjoy that more than the $1,000. Jay, would you take the $1,000?
I would probably still take it, but that's really close.
Greg writes, what do you think was the Knicks? He pasted a question from someone else, but what do you guys think was the Knicks' dumbest move ever? And someone responded by saying, Melo trade, Mozgov, Chandler, Gallo, and we were on the uprise. I do not think that's the dumbest move. What do you think the dumbest move ever was, Jay?
It's got to be Curry, right?
I don't know. The Mari move was pretty bad.
There's so many.
There were so many. I mean, let's give like a truckload of money to Larry Brown.
You got the Steve Francis trade, the Frederick Weiss draft pick.
Trading for Felton
Trading
again.
Ewing.
Yeah,
Trading for Felton again.
Trading Ewing. Not drafting Larry Bird because you didn't want to wait one season.
I would say I'm going to go and trading all the draft. I would say I'm going to say what has led us down the terrible path we're in has been clearing all that cap space for LeBron at all costs.
Yeah.
We'd be in a much better position right now if we had Jamal Crawford and Zach Randolph, for say. Greg writes, would you rather cheer for the opponent that beat your team or want them to succeed so they can say, oh, at least we lost to the eventual champs? The Knicks have done that many times recently. They lost to Boston before the Boston won the title. They lost to Miami before Miami won the title. Maybe I'm not correct about the Boston one, but
I usually feel better if they lose to a team that wins the title, unless it's something like Miami, because I just hate them forever.
Zaka?
I agree with him.
I would only agree with that if you lose to them late on. If you lose them in the conference finals, I feel better. But if you lose them in the first round, I don't feel better.
Even if they win the championship?
Well, it's still your team didn't go very far. I mean, I guess it gives you some solace, but like I'm going to root against them.
I mean, if you lose in the first round, you're like, yeah, but they were the best team in the playoffs.
Well, the question really is, would you cheer for them to win the finals? Would you? The question is, would you cheer for them, or would you want them to lose?
That would depend on who the team is.
Rosario writes, read the questions on Pinterest. Jay, you can pull up Pinterest?
Yeah, I got it right up here.
What about, do we have any questions on Instagram or OkCupid?
I'll check Instagram while you wrap these up.
Rosario writes, while I wrap this up, how many more do I have to go? How happy would you be if we got Tom Thibodeau? I am hard just thinking about it. William writes, I don't like Fisher. Hell, I don't even like to fish or eat fish. See what I'm saying, son? Anyway, hire Tibbs. He is the one I'm punching out. Shouts outs to my boy Bloodbath up in the island. Keep it gangster, Mark and Jay. Ha 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 ha. William writes, I was mad at first, but now kind of excited to see a young talent develop. Everybody say, pussy, keep it going. Stat Guy, what song is that from?
I have no idea.
Just Google the word pussy and see what songs come up. Jerry? Jarrett writes, Cousin is a beast, and we need to get better on boards. Sorry. First, he writes, am I the only one who wants to trade the pick for Cousins? And then he says, Cousins is a beast, and we need to get him better on the boards. Totally get that, and Sacramento went really far with him so far.
Yeah.
Stat guy, do you want Cousins?
No.
What if we could trade Timmy Hardaway for him?
Yes.
And Nils responds, why would you want to coach Cousins? He's toxic and gets called tons of texts. Good response. George writes, how about Moutier, Wade, Melo, Carroll, and Greg Monroe starting at 5? Who would be happy with that? Who would not be happy with that starting 5? At least the rookie would have good guidance. I'm not upset with that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, we could do much worse, and we probably will.
Gillum responds, no spacing. It's true, no one's shooting the 3 here besides Moutier.
Yeah.
And then with Carroll shoots the 3, right?
He does shoot a 3.
Liam writes, at least no one is calling for the Knicks to trade a young, talented, salary-controlled rookie top 5 pick for Cousins. Liam writes, I'm torn. On one side, I want Warriors to lose costs of Steve Kerr. On another, I hate LeBron. Then again, I can't blame Kerr for choosing the Warriors. It's like the Warriors is Knicks podcast and the Knicks is Brink of Sanity podcast.
What? Unbelievable.
So it's uncalled for. So yeah, F you Cavs, F you Wally, a Japanese voice. I'm right. I'm going to do a Japanese voice. And Paul responds, so not racist. I mean, are you mad at Steve Kerr at all?
No, he took the. I mean, it was a no-brainer.
Well, they say basically Kerr just used the Knicks to get more money from Golden State.
Whatever. Everyone uses the Knicks to get more money from everybody.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I have nothing against him, and Golden State made sense actually for his personal life also because he's from there, or not from. I don't know. His family's there. Whatever. It's just amazing that the guy who we didn't get, who we were supposed to get and didn't get, is in the finals, and the guy we got won 17 games. Mm-hmm. Liam writes, Willie Cauley-Stein or Justice Winslow, Moutier is not much of it's too much of a risk. He might be good, but these guys seem like the best decision as long as we don't draft no-name European player. And opinions on getting Greg Monroe, a lot of people are saying it's a done deal. So what do you think, Winslow or Cauley-Stein?
Winslow.
I think Winslow's a no-brainer there, but it's Winslow versus Moody, I feel like, is the big question, right?
Yeah.
You're still on Moody bandwagon, or who do you like?
I have no idea, honestly. I know it doesn't really help, but I have no idea.
Pick one. How about that?
Sure. We'll go with Moody.
I'm going to go with Winslow because I do like his performance. I was impressed by his performance in the tournament. I feel like that matters a lot. Stat guy.
Give me Winslow. I'm afraid who they're going to pick up in free agency.
And what do you guys think of Greg Monroe? You think that's going to fit well with when he stands literally next to Melo down low?
We've tried it before. Worked pretty okay.
I'm a little worried about Monroe. Jay, you worried about Monroe?
Oh, yeah, I'm very worried about Monroe.
I mean, we could do worse. He doesn't have any injury history.
That is true. And I do like having our 2 highest paid players play the same position.
Always worked about stat guy. Is it better to have your 2 highest paid players play the same position or different positions?
Different.
Jay, did we even vet this guy? Liam writes, GRA ta. I don't know what that's supposed to. GRA ta. I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean. Okay. I'm going to assume that's a iPhone malfunction. I think that is all the questions we have there, Jay.
All right. Did you read the messages on the page?
Oh, why don't you read the messages
on the page? It was brought to our
Jay?
attention that we have a page, not a group. So join the page.
Okay. Could you, by the way, if you have a moment, write us a review on iTunes, buy a T-shirt. I'm not talking to all the listeners. I'm talking to the stat guy. Go on, Jay.
Kuma writes, do you agree or disagree that the Knicks should draft a defensive big with offensive upside like a Ewing or a Chandler? I feel a player like Willie Cauley-Stein could possibly be that. A dynamic big who can alter opposing guard shots while also being an energy guy for the fans. We might not regret getting him 3 years from now.
I mean, the question really is, are you taking him too high? I am not convinced Willie Cauley-Stein. I like the idea of having a defensive center. I'm not convinced he's this guy with this amazing upside.
Right. My worry is drafting a guy with the number 4 pick who's going to go like 10th or 11th. I don't know.
I think he'd be a nice piece to get on the team. If we ended up getting Willie Cauley-Stein, I'm not going to be upset in the sense of like he will improve our defense.
If Cauley-Stein is your guy, you trade down and draft him there and get another piece.
Yeah, that I guess is basically it. You have to do that. You have to trade down to get him, and you get something else that makes sense. It's not bad. I worry about trading the pick, and I feel like Winslow has a lot. I feel like Winslow has a pretty big upside. I think he could be a star in the league. I think Moutier could be a star in the league. There are a lot of number 4 picks that have been pretty big stars. So,
yeah,
wasn't in recent history wasn't Wade a 4 pick? Wasn't what's his name on Oklahoma, a 4 pick?
Westbrook, yeah.
Yeah, Westbrook. There's a couple of pretty big 4 picks.
Yeah.
And not that these guys have to be those guys because they're a 4 pick, but I don't know. I the Knicks have just a terrible history of trading their picks. I can't imagine that we're going to suddenly trade a pick and have it work out for us.
Instagram, Marius writes, love your pod. Shout out from Germany.
Sweet.
Lee tagged Shumpert in a Cleveland jersey hugging LeBron. Don't do that. Some name I can't pronounce.
You have to try to pronounce the name, Jack. That's not, you can't just say you can't pronounce it. You have to try to pronounce it.
Harlem Butts. Harlem.
Butts. Go on.
But what about Pinterest? Another one is a picture of the guys on Cleveland all in a hot tub saying, look at this shit. I agree. Another one said from El Patronese. Oh, yeah, the other one was Gajones. This one's El Patronese. It says, fuck you, LeBron, fuck you, J.R. Smith, and fuck you, Shumpert.
Any questions this week from Tinder?
And Big Height sent us a rap, which I can't play through my phone, so I will enjoy that one off the show. So thank you.
It'll be great if you could send a rap just in the lyrics and have Jay read the lyrics.
Yeah, why not?
Jay, if you sent the lyrics, would you try to rap?
No, I would just read them. Just like you read them. You did the same thing like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
We're nearing 100 followers on Instagram.
Holy... how many followers do we have on Pinterest?
I still don't know what Pinterest is.
What about Plenty of Fish? Do we have a lot of followers on there?
We just started a New York Knicks FarmersOnly.com profile.
Sweet.
Yes.
What is that?
That is a dating site for farmers.
Are farmers with interest in Knicks?
Yeah. We're starting a little subgroup. KnicksFarmersOnly.com.
What's like our thing? Like, hey, you like what we're growing over here? We're planting titles here at the Knicks. If you want to plant in our hole, come join the Knicks.
And yesterday, Frank Isola wrote that the Knicks are enamored with Trey Lyles, who is a 6'10" forward. So if the Knicks draft Trey Lyles with the number 4 pick, I quit.
Who is Trey Lyles? Is that guy?
He played on Kentucky, and he's projected to be a late to mid first round pick. So that sounds perfect.
Oh, he's on Kentucky, and he's the guy that no one's talking about. That's the guy we should go for.
Well, I mean,
the guy that the 8th guy in the roster.
Well, I mean, that would be a trade down if we want to get like Cauley-Stein and Trey Lyles, because then we could draft 2 guys that both play the same position as Melo.
Yeah, actually, I heard there's a chance that Phil's going to trade the number 4 pick for 8 picks in the second round. I don't feel like this is this is not a situation where getting more draft picks makes a big difference unless they're pretty high draft picks.
I saw an article today that said Love expecting to play opening night, and I thought that the finals took so long to happen that Love actually healed and was going to play opening night of the finals. Then I realized they meant opening night of the season.
Okay. Do you think, is there a chance Kevin Love's back on Cleveland next year?
There's a chance, but it's like a 1% chance.
Okay, if you're Kevin Love, do you want to sign with them?
No.
Yeah, I feel like you became like number 3 on the team. You're no longer the alpha dog. Why do you want to do this?
We did to him what we they did to him what we did to Udry. We told him he was going to have a role, and then we did not give him that role.
We couldn't figure out how to play him.
Yeah, we said stand in the corner, and if LeBron feels like passing to you, he will.
Better question: does Cleveland want to give max money to a guy they didn't need to get to the finals?
Right.
I think they'd have to be insane to give him the money. Is that guy?
What's the question?
Here's that guy. Here's the question: Who would be more insane in this question? Is it more insane for Cleveland to give Love a max contract after not needing him to get to the finals, or is it more insane for the Knicks to give Love a max contract?
Cleveland.
Yeah. How mad would you be if the Knicks signed Love for a max contract?
I wouldn't be mad.
Really? You saw that he plays no defense, right?
I'd rather have Love than, what's his name, Monroe.
That's a fair point. Jay, would you rather have Monroe or Kevin Love?
I would still say Monroe.
Really? Why?
I feel like Monroe doesn't play, like, he could play down low a little bit more. Love really does exactly the same thing as Melo. Like, literally the exact same thing.
They do seem like very similar players.
And I think Monroe's 2 years younger. And I think his max contract would be less than Love's.
How would his max contract be less than Love's?
Because he's been in the league less time, and the max salary goes up every year.
Really?
Yeah, I think...
that I did not know. Is that true, or is Jay making shit up?
It's true. He's coming off a rookie deal, so his max is going to be a lot lower than Love.
I think his max is like 18, where Love's max is like 23 or something.
Yep.
What did we learn today, guys?
We learned that Marc knows nothing about the salary cap.
I think we learned that a long time ago.
We relearned it today.
We learned that Stat Guy 2.0 is not bad.
Yeah, we did.
We also learned that Stat Guy 2.0 does the show from a very loud area or neighborhood.
We learned that doing the show in my hot apartment while I'm sweating is no fun.
We learned that Jay's just trying to turn the fans now.
Yeah, I can't wait.
No, I meant turn on the listeners. Sorry. I see where you got confused.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wait. All I can think about is how hot I am. Temperature.
Why is it so hot in your apartment? I'm in the kitchen. I don't have the window open or anything. That's not that hot in here.
I don't know. It's like my thermostat says like 82 right now.
Is your apartment like close to the equator?
Well, it was 82 today, and my apartment didn't cool off yet.
I don't know. Stat Guy, is your apartment 80? Like, is it 82 in your room right now?
Right now, it's 70.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
We also learned that not enough people are outraged about Tom Thibodeau not being a Knicks coach already.
Yes.
We learned that Terry can suck the D.
Yes. Jason Terry can suck the D.
Yes.
Anything else we learned today?
We're about to learn that we still have a box and a half of Knicks podcast T-shirts. So
about to learn.
Yeah. Now you learned it. So make that not happen by buying them. I need to go to sleep.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. Okay, play the goodbye song. And thanks that guy. You were a welcome addition to the show.
Spot up job. Okay, here we go. Goodbye, everybody. We will be back in a week or two. Depends if anything interesting happens. All right, goodbye.
Bye.